What's up, guys? $100 million leads. What did we learn about yesterday? Well, we're getting close to finishing up paid ads part 2. So surely, the day before we would have talked about the 3 stages of scaling paid ads. Okay, we learned. I know Hormozi said the 3-to-1 LTGP to CAC ratio. That's the golden. That's the home run zone, but he, for his portfolio companies, looks for 10-to-1 minimum, and he gets about 20 to 25-to-1 a lot of the times for his companies. And what else do we have said? The levers for improving LTGP to CAC ratio? Well, first thing, you can improve CAC. How are you going to improve CAC? Well, make more efficient ads, test more ads, test different platforms, improve your sales process, reduce steps in the sales process or the funnel. There's a lot of ways to do that, but he said basically without a brand, what he's seen when he was running a software company is that companies without a brand, typically the ratio or the range between the worst and the best, or like top tier CACs and bottom tier CACs, is really only probably 3x. So the best people getting 3 times cheaper leads, or it's 3 times cheaper customer acquisition cost, whereas other people are getting 3 times that, or the bottom people are getting 3 times that, so 3 times more expensive. But really the difference between the top dogs and the bottom people in the industry is not the CAC, it's typically the LTGP, how much gross profit they actually make per customer. And so how do we improve customer lifetime value or lifetime gross profit? The way we do that is through improving the business model, charging more, having a better product, having a better offer. Business model and the offer itself. And so the way to really monopolize an industry is to have an enormous LTGP so that you can drive up your own CAC and the CAC of the industry. And so you can kill other competitors because they can't afford to acquire clients at the price that you can drive up the cost, because you have so much more gross profit or lifeblood for your business. And so, because they're auction platforms, these social media auction platforms, and that's what he did with Gym Launch. He was making hundreds of thousands, maybe $100,000 gross profit per customer, so he could afford to spend, $30,000 to acquire a client and still be over 3 LTGP to CAC ratio. Like that, you can kill your competitors like that because they cannot afford to do that. So that's why charging the most is so important in your industry, and not even just charging the most, but getting the most gross profit is so important in an industry. Okay, client finance acquisition. We just started getting into this, right? So this is how we solve the bottleneck of customer acquisition forever, and money never becomes a problem. The only problems become scaling problems. How do we do this? Well, client financed acquisition is where you match gross profit matches CAC within the first 30 days, because every business can get a credit card, 30-day loans, interest free. And so say you pay $1,000 into advertising, and you acquire clients, and you get paid equal to or greater than your CAC within the first 30 days. So you get paid $1,000 or $1,100. Then at the end of the 30 days, you pay up that $1,000 back to the credit card company. You clear your debt, 0 interest. You keep the $100 profit. Now you've just gained clients for free. Actually got paid to gain clients. And this is where the home run that Hormozi talks about is evident, right? How many clients can we handle? Okay, let's spend that much money. Let's reverse engineer that to then spend that much in advertising. Acquire these clients for free or get paid to do so. Then these people are all now onboarded. These people are now every month paying, or every interval paying, continuing to gain more just pure profit from them. And they're also referring people. The business is growing. It's amazing. So that's client finance acquisition. Gross profit exceeds or equals CAC within the first 30 days. And that is Client financed acquisition. I'm forgetting something else, but I'm just gonna keep moving. Right, cash flow positive versus you. So you want to break even and get cash flow positive within the first 30 days. That was what I was trying to think of. Okay. Cool. Yep. Oh, he said brands can drive down CAC to basically zero, or like massive brands. So brand is super valuable. Yep. So you're gonna want to pull both levers, improve the LTGP to CAC. However, LTGP may be higher leverage. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is grab another piece of paper. I've now filled up 3 pages front and back on these videos. Paid ads 1 and 2. This is paid ads 2. We're nearing the end. I don't know if we're gonna be able to complete it today, but let me check. Yeah, no, we won't be able to finish it today. We're only 11 minutes into a 29-minute video, but we can make good progress. So I'm gonna go continue watching some more. And when I get back, I'll recall and then repeat. I'll talk to you in a second. Guys, that was great. Client financed acquisition, like I thought it was gonna be about. We should probably have a little bit more, but basically, how do you do client financed acquisition? Well, simply you sell more stuff at the beginning, upsells. The easiest upsells will be just more of what you just sold them or better things of what you just sold them. You can also do new and different, and then you can also do more and better of those new, different, complementary things. So the tiers of advertising he's kind of laying out is like the foundation, you need to get to 3-to-1 minimum LTGP to CAC ratio. That's tier 1. Tier 2 is going to be gross profit greater than or equal to CAC within the first 30 days. So gross profit within the 30 days. And then the tier above that is to have just, multiples of. So I would say tier 2 is to have gross profit equal to CAC. And then tier 3 is gross profit in month 1 is greater than or equal to CAC. And then kind of the big idea was, without client financed acquisition, you're going to need to have outside funding, whether it's your own or it's private equity or it's investors, because you're going to need to front that acquisition of clients. And just another cool idea was like, depending on the multiple you get, so if you get gross profit in month 1 is 2 times CAC, well then you're going to grow, he said, at that rate. So month 1 you're going to have 1x, month 2 you're going to have 2 times more clients, then you're going to have 4 times the amount of clients that month, and then 8 times 16, 32, 64, 128, etc. By the end, he said at 1 year you'll have 4,000 more clients acquired in that month than month 1. And that's where the scaling problem comes in, not the leads problem. And client finance acquisition solves the lead acquisition problem. Okay, cool. We got 7 minutes left. I'm going to go watch a little bit more, and then we'll get back, recall, and then we'll end of the day. I actually was not on 11 minutes. I was actually on 17 minutes. So we are very close to finishing this paid ads part 2. We're at 21 minutes out of 29. So we'll finish it tomorrow, but I'll put some good work in right now. Talk to you in a sec. Wrapping it up for today. We get into this final section of paid ads part 2. It's lessons Hormones he's learned throughout his experience in paid advertising. First is, don't confuse a sales and advertising problem. How do you know when you have a sales problem versus an advertising problem? Well, are you getting qualified, like the right avatar, onto sales calls or consults? If you're getting them into the sales pitch, consult, in person or on the phone or on a Zoom or whatever, then you don't have an advertising problem. You have a sales problem. If you're not getting the right people onto the phone or for the sales call or for the sale, then you have an advertising problem, right? The goal of the advertising is to get people into a sales situation. The goal of the sales system is to close people that show up into the sales system. Cool. That's how you know the difference between if you have a sales problem or advertising problem. Okay. 2 is user-generated content, and not necessarily actually. The second lesson is your best organic content can become your best paid ads or become really good paid advertisements. So use your best organic content into use it for paid ads. And then you start talking about user-generated content. Basically, if you can have a system where your customers consistently create testimonial usage videos, like etc., like user-generated content about your business, your offer, then you'll have a consistent ad producing machine without production machine without your constant effort and input. So very valuable. That's it for today. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.